Hey guys. Um, Video I've been wanting to do recently is a rod review, fishing rod review and comparison. Now that you've seen two videos I've done of fish feeding in the salt water, with one of them being in the backwaters, along with my logo icon, me holding a big 12-pound bluefish, you guys can probably tell I enjoy fishing. It's my favorite hobby. I do freshwater and saltwater, and I'm kind of like a avid angler. There's all different types of fish I like to target. I have my favorites. I'm not really desperate to, catch big fish like a lot of those serious guys do. I just at least want to catch decent sized fish, get into great action, hopefully get that, big one, that keeper, hopefully. But still, have the fun of it. Well, I still target the typical stuff. I do, as I said, freshwater and saltwater. In freshwater, my favorite species include largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, rainbow trout, brook trout, brown trout, crappie, and chain pickerel. Plus, I enjoy the opportunity of catching those big, chunky bulls, the bullgills, the bluegills, those 8-inch plus, 9, 10 ounce and over bullgills with light tackle. Boy, do they pull. Love the way those big bluegills pull on light tackle. So that's freshwater. Now, saltwater. I do surf casting. The only time I ever use bait, whether it be live or pieces, is chiefly porgy fishing and black fishing. On occasion, when I'm trying to get into the bluefish and straight bass, if there's a lot of adult bunk around and I'm really not catching anything, I'm not even getting hits, but I might see some suspicious action, then I will try and snag a bunker. Most of the time, I would take a half-ounce jig head out of my tackle box and just cast it out there and snag an adult bunker and let it stay out there. And also let some line out of occasionally. That's how I did catch that 12-pound bluefish that I'm holding in my video logo, my video page logo. Um, so then, other than the bait I use and stuff, the only time I use the live bait or the uh, pieces of bait, I love throwing topwater. I love throwing plugs. I enjoy getting into early spring, late fall stripers with soft plastics. But the primary fish I love catching is bluefish. Oh, bluefish. The way they attack a lure, the way they fight, the teeth, the jaws, the attitude, the acrobatics, everything like that, the power. That's what I love about bluefish. So much fun. So much fun. Along with watching their aggressiveness. But otherwise, fluke I also enjoy targeting. I like bottom bouncing for them. I've also caught many with spoons and smaller plugs. As for sea robins, I do find that they are a fun fish on light line, short rod, smaller lures, especially during the middle dead of the summer up here in Connecticut, when the water is just so warm. There's practically nothing else around other than porgy, porgy, sea robin, and fluke. There could still be bluefish around. There could still be, striped bass around. While I'm wading in like flats or casting directly from shore where there's all open water, I like catching sea robin. Plus, if you've seen that video I made of my Mediterranean Greek meat and vegetable stir fry recipe, where the highlight was the sea robin meat, they are good fish. The meat hardly falls apart. They're perfect to use as an ingredient. So now I've talked about the stuff I like to target, the way I like to fish, the type of fisherman I am, freshwater, saltwater avid. Let's get to the rods. So, as for my freshwater rods and rods I've had in the past, well, years ago, before I started getting more serious and upscale with stuff, I had the cheaper rods. I even had um, some Eagle Claw rod that I was pretty impressed with for such a low price. It eventually broke about a year or two after usage. I got another one, but then pretty soon, within 3 months, that second one I bought broke. So it was just like that first one. I guess happened to be the lucky one. But now, I've been using it in the freshwater for about 3 or 4 years now, and is a all around freshwater rod. The best one I could find for the type of freshwater fisherman I am is the 5'6" medium power one piece St Croix Premier. The reason why I got the 5'6" medium power one piece is because, first off, it was the only 5'6" one piece medium power rod rated 1/4 to 3/4 of an ounce I could find. Because I fish basically on the banks of smaller lakes and ponds. And when you're fishing on the banks of smaller lakes and ponds, there's a lot of brush, trees, everything like that, that you have to try and cast around, everything like that. So a short rod, like a 5'6", no longer than 6 feet, is perfect. But a 5'6" freshwater rod rated 1/4 to 3/4 ounce that you could easily throw a half-ounce lure with is hard to come by. So I was very lucky to find that. And I actually do love it. It's an excellent all-around freshwater rod. 6-pound mono, 8-pound mono, 10-pound braid. Yeah. With like a 2000 or 2500 size spinning reel. And throwing stuff, whether it be 1/8 ounce suspended jerkbait like a Rapala Husky Jerk, half-ounce topwater like a, I don't know. You see what I mean? And even throwing maybe something just under 3/4 of an ounce, such as, I know, Whopper Plopper 110. Yeah. I have even landed some really nice fish with that short rod. Last year, in 2019, I landed a new personal best, 25.5 inch, 4.7-pound chain pickerel with that rod. Yeah, 5'6" medium power one piece rod. I was only using 6-pound mono. Last year I also landed a near new personal best. Was it just over 4 pounds? Or was it just something like right around 4 pounds? Rainbow trout. I was fishing along the edge of a river system that eventually feeds into a small lake at a local city park that gets stocked with trout. And I was walking around on a very narrow trail in a woodsy section. We had just little openings, trying to see if I could actually catch the trout. And I got lucky. The nice thing about the 5'6" rod is also when you're going to be walking around trails with a lot of trees and bushes. Plus, if you're going to be fishing just small openings, it makes it also easier to land fish with that shorter rod, when you have a lot of trees around you, and also you don't have to worry too much about while you're walking through the narrow trails, um, hitting your rod against trees and stuff. So there it goes for the freshwater rod. Now here, saltwater rods is where it really comes into play. I've tried so many. I have a lineup right now. Here's what I gotta say about saltwater rods. Well, I first got into surf casting when I was 11, 12. My dad got me into it. He has a much longer history than me. He's told me stories about back in the 1970s when he and one of his younger brothers, one of my uncles, would get into the easy 15, 20-pound bluefish that would be blitzing on the 2-pound mackerel in football field size. It's no longer like it anymore. We don't know where those huge bluefish went, but we still got them around. Bluefish, we still got them around, but I don't know where the big bluefish went. Um, Once I started getting on my own, getting more serious on my own, trying different rods, I finally come to the conclusion about which ones are good for the price, which ones have their values, everything like that. So here it goes. Um, I eventually found out about Star Rod fishing rod company brand. Maybe like, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. The first one I decided to try was an 8-foot aerial 2-piece surf rod. The downside of it was how heavy it was. Um, Otherwise, with how heavy it was, for a $60 to $80 rod, it had reasonable action with a 5-year warranty. Just the heaviness, along with it just having the reasonable action. Then I decided to get the 7-foot 1-piece jetty surf version on the aerial lineup. That one I eventually fell in love with. Eventually broke on me when I took a trip when I was walking on a jetty. That was 2 years ago. But what I liked about the jetty surf rod compared to the regular surf rod, it had a more backbone feeling. Also, if you were to whip it around a bit, just the rod itself, you get a feeling that it's perfect for standing on rocks, jetties, and shoreline areas that are above the water. So you could cast out there and it'll be easier to pull a fish right up onto the rocks. And just like all other aerial rods, 5-year warranty, and it's basically in the $60 to $80 range. Once that broke, um, what I got was 7-foot 1-piece St Croix Triumph. The 1-piece 7-foot St Croix Triumph I loved. I put so much pressure on it, so much, oh, you name it, on it. And it lasted me for 4 seasons, or should I say 4 years, before I decided to give it to somebody because it was getting so beat up from all the pressure I put on it, even though I was rinsing it often. And by the time it was that 4th year of using it, I said, you know what? I'm going to retire this thing. It's getting so beat up. It's got markings on it. Here, you could have it. What I was actually able to land there with that was a fish of a lifetime. A 32-inch, 12-pound tide runner. Tide runner? That means huge weak fish. A 32-inch, 12-pound weak fish. Oh, I couldn't believe it. So many other guys couldn't even believe the size of that fish. A once in a lifetime catch. That's with a 7-foot St. Croix Triumph surf rod with just 14-pound braid. But that Triumph really treated me well. I really liked it. Once I got rid of that, I'd already known that I loved the Triumph. And I had also known that, or gotten to know that star rods were excellent for the price. So instead of going for another aerial, I decided to look into the M7 Graphite Stellar Light Series. Um, I had already bought, I'd already bought a 9 foot 2 piece medium heavy power Star Stellar Light surf rod for throwing much heavier lures when my dad and I went to the Jersey Shore about 5 years ago. Lightweight, excellent action, excellent feeling, $100 rod, um, and lifetime limited warranty. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with all that stuff. I really like M7 Graphite. It's an excellent material. It's lightweight. It has a perfect all-purpose feeling. And those Star Stellars, I said $100 rod, and with lifetime limited warranty, the perfect one. It's just too bad they don't make an 8 foot 2 piece version that could cast with half ounce to 3 ounce stuff, or half ounce to 2 ounce stuff. But once I fell in love with that 9 foot Stellar, I decided to get the 7 foot 1 piece fast taper inshore. It's another $100 Star Stellar Light Series fishing rod with a lifetime limited warranty. I mean, oh boy. Once I got that 7 footer, I decided to get the lighter, shorter 6 foot 6 version 1 piece, so I could throw half ounce stuff around, such as a 4 inch popper, half ounce bucktail, some smaller 3/8 ounce plugs, all that sort of stuff. With just using 8 and 10 pound braid, boy, earlier this year, between those two rods, same, lineup, just two different sizes, two different models. Earlier this year in late May, on the local shoreline in Connecticut, I eventually got into about a week long of the big bluefish that occasionally pop up towards the end of May before they disappear. I landed tons of 4 to 6 pound Taylor blues with the 6 foot 6 and the 7 foot Star Stellar inshores, the fast taper. Boy, the casting, the power, everything like that. $100 rod, lifetime limited warranty, Star Stellar, can't go wrong. Um, Now, as that's it for the Star Stellars. Um, Another 7 footer I currently have that I'm now basically just making a bait rod for blackfish and porgy, the Daiwa Coastal Pro surf rod. I have the 7 foot 1 piece medium heavy power version that is rated 1 to 4 ounces. At first I liked it, but then once I started getting more of the Star Stellars, I noticed that it was kind of on a stiff side. It's more of one of those things where you could easily cast heavier sinkers and bait with. It's not much of a rod for throwing lures. It's more of a bait rod. Um, so that's for the Daiwa Coastal Pro. Another Daiwa I use for saltwater, I am actually impressed with for how low the price is, even though it just has a 1 year warranty. The Daiwa Aired inshore. I have the 6 foot 1 piece medium light. That's basically my dead middle of summer rod for when I'm wading in shallow flats and just tossing little stuff around for basically fluke and sea robin. It's a perfect light 6 foot medium light power inshore rod for casting with 8 pound braid, 10 pound braid, and doing just little 1/4 half ounce stuff around. It's perfect. Um, 8 foot rod I now have. that I have fallen in love with is the second generation Tsunami Trophy. The Tsunami Trophy II just came out last year. Tsunami was really due for an update with the trophy series. I saw all the great reviews, so I bought it. Even though it's a 70-30 split, not a half and half 50-50 two-piece, it's a 70-30. For an $80 rod, and even though it just has a 1-year warranty, it is an all-around amazing rod. It has that perfect touch of flexibility on the tip, making it an every single type of lure you could think of rod. It casts excellent. It's nice and lightweight. The previous trophies weren't as flexible. They were heavier, everything like that. But now the second generation, amazing. 8-foot rod that I just recently got rid of, that I used the Trophy 2 to replace, Pen Carnage 2. It was an 8-foot two-piece. The big con about two-piece Pen Carnage rods, within 5 or 6 casts, without you even knowing that the rod has gotten loose, the upper part comes right off. It had an amazing feeling, nice and lightweight, easy to use. But I shouldn't say easy to use because of how it falls apart. But it was really nice. But the big thing that let it down was that how it easily comes apart within 5 to 6 casts. The Trophy, on the other hand, it has a much longer, how can I say it? The lower part has a much longer tip to keep it really stiff and hard together, the two pieces together. And so you right away start noticing when it becomes loose. That's another nice thing I love about the second generation Trophy. So one other rod I now have that I haven't really used yet, but I've gotten some good feelings with, is a 7-foot one-piece Mojo Surf. What I've noticed about the Mojo Surf with the feeling of it, even though I said I haven't casted with it yet, is with seeing it doesn't have the flexibility of the Triumph, but has a feeling of backbone. It seems to be more of a plugging rod. I'm not talking about including poppers and spooks. I'm talking about things like SP minnow, bomber long A, Yozuri crystal minnow, and also throwing spoons and soft plastics where you basically just be giving a steady retrieve. It doesn't have the right touch of flexibility on the tip for bottom bouncing and throwing top waters. So what I basically use that for is my early spring and late fall run striper rod, when it's really just swimmers and plugs. So before I wrap it up, I would say that out of all of those I talked about, how I said the St Croix Premier 5'6" one-piece medium power freshwater rod. It is an all-around freshwater rod for casting from shore on smaller lakes, ponds, and rivers. And as for the saltwater rods I mentioned, the new second generation Tsunami Trophy is what I call a bargain rod. $80, even though it's a 1-year warranty, but the feeling of it, the power of it, everything like that is amazing. So if you don't want to spend $100 or more, or if you don't even want to get towards like $90, $95, this $80 second generation Tsunami Trophy is right spot on. But on the other hand, if you're willing to spend $90, $100, $110, $120, but you don't want to go crazy on like the $200, $300, $500 stuff, the real winner of all these I talked about, the Star Stellar, the lightweight M7 graphite, the beating it could easily take, the power it has, everything like that. $100 price range and lifetime limited warranty. You can't go wrong with the Star Stellar. It's just an amazing, amazing series of rods without having to go crazy on the price. So that just about wraps it up. I'm about to call a night. Otherwise, to end it, this cold weather we're having right now, we'll see what it does to the bite that I've been having going on with basically just small blues and stripers, but basically mostly schoolies. Not too many bluefish around this year. Fall run has been very disappointing. The warm weather we've been having throughout October, now it's almost the end of October, really kept that war. It really has been keeping that water temperature above normal, 62 to 65-degree water surface temperatures, and hasn't really gotten the big fish in yet. There's been a lot and a lot of adult bunk around, but with the big fish not around, whenever the adult bunker are dense, there's really nothing hitting. So, all right, calling it a night. But the one thing I know you guys, I'm sure you guys know I can't wait to do. Manja. Ciao.